I remember her saying, I don't baby students, and if that's the best you got, that's it. That response lit a fire inside me, and I responded with, this isn't my best. You haven't even seen my best. I can show you what my best is. And I will never forget those 3 words she said to me, then prove it.
For Nigel specifically, I saw that he was a hard worker, and I just tried to really bring that out of him. So I think it was just the constant conversations and me kind of looking over his shoulder almost, and just using really positive reinforcement and maintaining that throughout the year.
There are 2 different extremes of people in Woodbridge College, and they both say two different things. Some people say she is magnificent. Other people say they're afraid of her.
I'm not so sure that I taught Jonathan a great deal. I know he would argue it, but he was such a willing and ready, open subject for me. If I loved Shakespeare, he was listening. If I said, this is what you need to do, you need to listen to what you're saying, as a writer, he did that.
The moment I was forced to leave my home, she stepped in and she began to use her position as a teacher to help me with the best of her abilities. And over time, our bond grew.
June is, how do I describe June? His phrases, I remember vividly. His, well, actually, Mrs. Mazdag, correcting me constantly. That's what I adored, and I really wanted to make him a t-shirt that said that before he graduated. He was a great kid, and my heart really went out to him when I found out the circumstances that he was living in. And I told him he's able to do what he needs to do to take care of himself, and then I'd be there to help him.
I know Miss Mazdag in grade 9 was a great support for June, and she was really that advocate or that voice for him. She supported him, again, both in the classroom and beyond the classroom. He had obviously some challenges and some struggles. You couldn't have picked a better student who's obviously written about an extremely caring adult in this building. And so I'm just so happy that Julie is the recipient.
Miss Fiorella, what I noticed with her was her ability to particularly relate to the students that are within the Learning Enrichment Center. You know, they all need support in different ways, so she made sure those kids were engaged.
When I think about Sarah and what she's been able to do, you know, with Jonathan and others, she connected with him, he connected with her, and I believe very much so that for John, she was the caring adult in the building.
I love kids, and I realized that had somebody helped me in high school, had somebody said, "What's the matter, Sarah?" things might have been different.
When you're teaching, especially at the high school level, or any teacher, you're working with the students, but you don't necessarily get to see the end product. So when they come back and they're not quite at their career, but they're in post-secondary or they've got a new job, it's something that is very rewarding to see the impact that you have.
It is a priority of mine to make sure that when our students graduate, regardless of what pathway they're set on, regardless of if they're going to go to work or go to post-secondary education, it's important for them to know that they have to advocate for themselves. As flattered as I am about, you know, June writing about me, even though I'm not that surprised that June wrote, the big thing is the scholarship, because it's really going to make a fundamental difference for some of our students.
If there is one teacher who loves what she does and her students, and is loved, it is Sarah Prospero.
Now that I look back at it and view my life, I can see how it was actually more about proving to myself that I could do something with my life. I just needed someone to push me in that certain direction, and that person was Miss Fiorella.
She was more than just a professional who was paid to teach me or someone charitable. She was my family, a role model and an example I struggle to emulate day by day. And I wish there were more people like her making the world a better place.